I think it's recording on my side. We'll see.
Yeah, and notification this side as well.
But basically, I was just saying if you're using your iPhone, you can just like screen record or something. All right, so who's that? Can you mute or something? If you have questions along with what I'm saying, confusion that you're experiencing with what I'm going to be saying, please can I do to a good on Monday? Okay, let me add on Chile. But who was that was saying that they can join? Was it Melanie? Oh, okay. No, it's not a problem. Chile. All right, I think that's fine then. I'll have it for you guys. All right, can you mute yourself now? Do, 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 do. All right, gents. So, uh, going back to what I was saying, we took sales on Euro USD. Reason for that was because of the order block that happened that formed already, right? That showed me that it was a turtle soup that is happening and a model one that is happening. I wasn't forcing an entry, it was clear as daylight. What I needed to do was I needed to wait for it to do what? To just reverse and make an OTE, right? Why OTE? Because this OTE that showed me that it also made a change in structure. Change in structure, CSD. Okay. Where was it confirmed? You can see from here coming to this range, it was making it's low, high, low, high, low, high, low, and then it made this high. And then when it made the OTE or CSD, that was when it broke the structure to make the OT. So knowing that okay, when it comes back for a reversal, all you do is do what? Wait for a turtle soup to happen or what? Uh, 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 uh CRT. Where was the CRT here? Can you guys see it? If you guys can see it, where is that? The all about. So the CRT that formed right here, here's the candle, a little perch up there. You enter on this third candlestick. Can you see? Off for 4 hour, nearly off for 4 hour. You don't go lower down to the low time frame or whatnot. So you go down lower time frame. Even on the 4 hour, you saw it. What time was the CRT? 1 a.m. candle. 1 p.m. I mean. Can you see? 159. What happened here? 5. What happened here? 9. Can you see? 159. Should I repeat myself or should I carry on?
Yeah, please repeat.
Repeat, please.
All right. All right. Looking at the structure before we entered the cell, right? You know that for us to trade anything, we use a range. So a range needs to form first before you can think of anything else so that we can see where the direction is going, right? So it was already when we identified the sort of already formed. So there's no need of saying it formed this relative highs. It have already formed. You see, uh, so knowing that okay, all you just do is you highlight the lowest point of the range and the highest point of the range, and that's where you start off your setup, right? And then after that, that's your range high and that's your range low, right? The range high, it broke this high up here. Can you see? But immediately it did what? It reversed. It reversed. Now, how would you have caught this entry? Model 1. I guess you use a Model 1. There's no Favily gap here. There's no breaker block. It's clear as day Model 1. That was the only entry you could have seen here. So where's your Model 1? The last candlestick before the manipulate. Basically like the last candlestick to wait to go break that high. And then it made the manipulation. How you trade it? You traded, it has to make a CSD change in structure. This was the last high, right? From there, what does it do? It makes a low. Can you see? So that's a definite change in structure. It was making highs, low, high, low, high, low, and then the last high to go make that change in structure. So now, this now shows me this is my entry, Model 1. You guys understand that, right? You guys understand that, right?
I caught on, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So I used to tell everyone that everything, whether it's a Favily gap, whether it's a breaker block, whether it's an inverse, whatever you're gonna trade, or whatever ICT or SMC concept you're gonna be using to enter, you do not enter anything if you do not see a turtle soup. Now, turtle soup, CRT, same concept, right? After this OTE happened, it reversed back into the order block. This is where you enter. But you wouldn't just have entered because now there are conditions to everything. Whether, yeah, there's conditions to everything, right? Thing is, you wouldn't have known if this reversal was gonna make a refinement or you're gonna use order block refinement. You know those type of things, right? So that's why I'm saying you're gonna have to be on the chart. You have to be complacent. You have to be there. When you see this form, right? Whether you see this form, your entry model is a model 1, right? But now there's another entry model to that entry model. I don't want to lose you guys, but there's an entry model to that entry model, right? Yes, you see a model 1, but you don't just blindly enter. You use turtle soup or CRT. Basically the same concept, but
Where is the model one?
what?
The model one, is it the bearish candle, the black one?
Sorry?
The model one you are talking about. I just joined. I thought we were on Discord. I just came here.
Bro, I cannot hear you.
You continue on.
Must continue.
Basically, what he's asking is the very first question I asked about the candlestick that purchased the high or low as being the order block. So you explained that that's our model 1 entry, which is the order block.
Yeah.
I was asking specifically which candlestick it is.
It is this one, the gray one. That look, it's the first candlestick to have broken this high up here. That's always the order block. As long as the next candlestick shows you that it reversed or basically made a manipulation, right? Then you know that this candlestick was your order block. Is that clear?
Yeah.
So thing is, let me explain the confusion sometimes, right? People that do SMC, right? Uh, or basically whatever concept that they're doing. Some people would call a supply an order block the same way as a demand. They call it an order block. But using this strategy, let me just charge my laptop real quick. Come on. Using this strategy, our our whole mindset changes into what these concepts say. So that's why I call these order blocks is because my definition of an order block says that it's the last candlestick before manipulation. So using that concept or definition, that allows me to identify that this candlestick is an order block and not a demand being an order block, whatever. Understand? Every strategy has different definitions for the same thing. You see, retail traders, they call demands like they call them what? Supports. You understand? They call supplies resistance. You know? What the hell? What's going on? Oh yeah, they call them bro, what? So I hope you guys understand what an order block is. Should I carry on?
One last question.
Yo.
On the order block, we carry on. I see you marked it from the body and not the wick. Uh, is that always how we supposed to filter it out?
No, it's according to your preference. It's according to your preference. As long as you got that candlestick, could have still entered because the entry model would have still been the CRT. That's to where I'm going. But it's according to your preference, you know. To me, I
Okay,
always tell
cool.
myself, to me, uh, rejections like these rejection sticks, they mean nothing to me. That's why I disregard them. I only focus on the bodies most of the time because sometimes these bodies allow you to have the most precise entries sometimes, you know. So that's why I prefer.
Alright, I get.
Yeah, that's why I prefer to mark them at the body. So coming to the order block thingy, you got your confirmation that you had a turtle soup. That this is now you're building your narrative. Like I said, you must always have narrative to a trade. Don't just blindly enter. Have reason, use logic to what you see and what the structure is telling you. That allows you to basically trade what you see, not what you want to see. Okay. So my narrative for a trade says that we had a range. The range gave us a turtle soup plus a model one entry. Now, that's me highlighting my structure. Now, plus the CSD, obviously, which is the change in structure, meaning that we're no longer buying. Now we have selling momentum. That's my narrative. Now comes to entry point. Your entry point was the order block, right? Now, when it comes back and reverses, like I always tell you that the criteria to everything, you know that if an order block made a series of candlesticks to go break a high, I wouldn't say these ones because why they made another low. Can you see? It has to be one clean movement like this to go break a high. When it reverses like this, you just know that no, it's a new high that we're using. This is why I use this. Can you see? But if it were making that series of like up candles to go break that high, then you would have used that from this. Let's say from the starting of this was the last low to go break that high, right? You would have used that as your order block, and then you would have used order block refinement using like a Fibonacci to mark out where that the start of that candle was, blah 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 blah, for an entry that's more precise. Can you understand? So this is why like there are different types of order blocks. So now this order block is more stronger when it has what? Fair value gap. Where is the fair value gap? Here's the fair value gap. Can you see? But you wouldn't have
Yeah.
highlighted this. We wouldn't have highlighted this. Why? Because you know that your entry is a model one. The fair value gap is just to support your thesis or your narrative that now this is where is the best time to enter. You understand? That way you wouldn't have used order block refinement. This is what goes into my mind when I actually entered this trade. I actually entered it. I didn't even see this order block. I mean, the fair value gap. This fair value gap, I'm only seeing it right now. You see, that means that I wasn't even focused on, because why I deal with one thing only, model one. But my entry would have been CRT. Since we are on a 4 hour, right? Since we're on a 4 hour, you would have just obviously to your mind, you'd be like, I need to put in entry on a lower time frame, right? You probably went to a 15-minute time frame or whatnot or whatnot. But before you would have went there, you should have seen something. Should have seen a CRT, because you know that you do not enter anything without a turtle soup or a CRT, because it's basically like the same thing. This candlestick made a turtle soup on a lower time frame. You understand? So now that's now you're now building everything together, and you're like, this is a checklist now. This is a checklist with everything that you've learned. You're just using one checklist to the next checklist to the next checklist. You understand? So now the CRT, it's on a 4 hour. So you know that with the 4 hour CRT, there's time. You understand? There's time. What time did the CRT form? From that one. You know that the times for the CRT are always 159, 159. 1 a.m., 5 a.m., 9 a.m., 1 p.m., and all that, get the gist. So look at this one, you know that from that one, the manipulation happened at 5. And then this is where you entered at 9. Because why? It's also a distribution candlestick. You understand? So I'm gonna delete this because it's just gonna make confusion on the time frame. I'm gonna just highlight this CIT. The CIT, I'm gonna highlight it like this. And then what do I do next? Time frame alignment. So I want you to see something. Oh Jesus. All right. This is where the CIT happened. Remember that CIT what that I drew? I told you that if you guys want to be more confident, if your turtle soup, if you were just trading turtle soup only, and then you were doing what? Using higher time frame key level or whatever, the fair value gap would have been your key level. Or you would have just said this rejection block right here as your key level. Can you see from just using turtle soup, you can go far? I didn't even need to use CRTs or whatnot, but I'm just saying, like on a lower time frame, if you just saw this on a 15-minute, it would just been so simple. And then you said what? Turtle soup, and then what? Turtle soup and model one. By just using that, how you entered this one, you saw with the candlestick that okay, this one really didn't give you much of like a retest. But what did it show you? It showed you this change in structure, because it was what? It was bullish in a sense, and then it did what? Change structure. So as long as it closed below with the candlestick, it will just enter there. And then you just bam. Like I said, you don't need to enter the most precise of entries, but you can catch it. As long as you saw that you could catch it, you can catch a lot of pips. You see? So this was the entry for the sell. Do you guys understand?
Yeah, I understand.
Are you sure?
I am sure. I will ask questions on my one-on-one though.
Okay, no problem. And then the rest, I'm gonna need y'all to interact, gents. Like we're having this class, so I need to make sure we're on the same page.
Yeah, I understand.
Are you sure?
The
Yeah, I
range
also
high
understand.
and the range low. On which high time frame did you find the range high and the
Which
range
time frame?
low? The range high and the range low that you've marked out. The
Oh yeah,
one that you just adjusted.
sorry to to disrupt you. Why I identified this range low, right? Was because look here,
Yes.
look at this momentum right here. Look at this momentum right here, man. Um, how I identified this range was merely from the fact that I started seeing some sort of consolidation. So why I specifically chose that low was because our every for a low to form or a rejection to form on a lower time frame, it made a definite low. You understand? Like here
Yeah.
this for because like if you understand open high low close and open low high close, you understand when the candlestick closes, it opens there high low and then it continues going up. Can you see? So using understanding that the candlestick analogy of how it opens and closes, you can basically identify the most precise because like even on German 30, I've been on this play for a long. Even on German 30, there was a trade that I caught. I don't remember when, but it's been yeah, this one. Yeah. I caught this I caught this on a higher time frame. Caught this on a higher time frame. There was someone there was some trade that I caught, man, December. I've been holding it and I only closed it when February. It was in November. I was still holding that trade. So maybe it was around somewhere here. But the way that I did, yeah, it was this one. I caught it here. This was the trade that I caught December. I caught this trade here. Look at this low right here. No, is it this low? This that was this one, sorry. This one. Because that's where the turtle soup happened, right? I caught this low right here. Why? Because of the understanding that once it made this purge and it went up like this, I saw that no, this was a rejection. It closed above here, open, high, low. It made a low to go up higher. So this was my range. Can you see? Once it did that, turtle soup, what is that? What happens now? Well, model one. Where's the model one? The last candlestick to have formed the low, right? Uh, just put this accurately right here. This candlestick to have made the low. Look at that. Look at this right here. You see where it reversed? I used that from the mere fact because like you would be like, nah man, it didn't you would have probably highlighted this one because you saw a definite low, but it didn't reach. Can you see why? Because of the momentum. Momentum as momentum keeps on going up. It's basically showing that there's a possibility that it might not go back. So you use the most recent low that it made, and then you identify them like these with these candlesticks. This is how you can hedge these things. And I basically just held. So that's basically how I identify my ranges when I don't see clear ones. You understand? See, even here, if you had a thingy, it didn't even tap into it properly. I mean, it did, but like this was a higher time frame key level. Turtle soup, model one, buy. Ish, I kind of regret closing, but it's fine. So yeah, that's basically how I catch these things. Understand turtle soups, guys. Ish, turtle soups are so important. You can catch them on lower time frames. You can catch them London session, whenever, like as long as you catch them, dog, you're going far in life. Like you're going far in life. There was a trade that I sent in the group. Hell of a trade. This one I won't lie, it even kicked me out because I didn't I don't remember what happened here, but I got kicked out and then it just went my direction. But I understood why actually. It was because I didn't enter at a turtle soup. I basically it was consolidating here, and I decided to enter. But what I could have seen is that Once I see a consolidation, I know that there's gonna be one movement, what manipulation. I didn't wait for that. I just blindly entered and then kicked me out. And see, if you do not enter, if you don't enter after you see a turtle soup, you continue blowing your account like I did here. So whatever thing that you see, always use turtle soup. Even right here, made a turtle soup, it's gonna continue going up and stuff. This is basically what they would call a KOD. Okay, it's not there but a KOD, but a KOD basically, right? Let me just bring it down here. A KOD, guys, in a range, we take partials when 50%, right? 50% of the range or a CRT, 50% of it, we take partials. There's a reason why we do that. Why is because 50% is a reversal point. You understand? So, case of death or KOD basically says that the market always reverses at half of that range. Let me just try to draw a range. Uh, mm, so model one. Then you understand. So it 50% happened. Then what is it gonna do? It does this one heck of a movement, and you think that damn, uh, oops, you think that damn, this thing is actually gonna like reverse or something. But no, what it does is KODs at that 50% level. It does that kiss of death. You know, it's called a death for a reason because this is where people shake. If you were holding, you would shake because you're like, it was going up. Right here, it broke structure. Yo, I need to go out. Hey, 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 hey. But no, if you understand logic of a range, is that 50% it reverses. Case of death is the last turtle soup before it does what? It takes out this point up here. You understand? So how you catch it is the same way as here. Here you caught it how? Model 1 entry. It's still gonna do the same thing here with a Model 1 entry to go up. So that's a KOD. And this is another criteria that happens in range trading. Because with range, the market is always consolidating. Always consolidating. Understand? So in these instances like this, Model 1s are your best entry thingies because when a Model 1 happens, it's gonna kick. It's gonna, you understand? And it doesn't play like it shoots. Like it shoots. So I think yo, guys, I don't know how many times I'm gonna repeat this, but like this is everything that I use. I use one thing. And if you use one thing all the time, you keep consistency in your trades, in your setups, in what you want to see all the time, then you're guaranteed a winning year or winning streak for the next, I don't know how many times. You understand? So have consistency in your trades. If you like a model 2 entry, like a fair value gap or breaker block entry, and you need to understand yourself first. You need to understand yourself first in order for you to know what your trading plan is going to be like. For me, I only trade range high, range low, model one. That's it. Understand? But if you feel like model one is hard for you, then but you like fair value gap entries and stuff like that, they're always gonna form. And if they don't form, you don't take a trade. You understand? That's keeping consistency in your winning streak. So using that consistency over time, you start gaining confidence. And I'm telling you, once you gain confidence, you're gone, bro. Like I won't lie, like you're gone. You can predict anything that happens in the market. Understand? You can predict anything that happens in the market. That allows you to now become more confident in growing your accounts, full margining, understand these type of things. So, someone coming back to full margining, there was someone who asked me here to show you how I full margin, yeah, on how I grow my account. It depends. It depends. Why does it depend on a broker? That's the things that people never say, like never talk about. A broker is so important because now some brokers you just basically there because they only allowed you to open a trade at that time. Maybe let's say it's because you weren't 18 yet and you figured you could use your mother's one or whatever. But if you found a broker that you completely like, you understand, it improves your psychology. If let's say you like Xness, what do most of you guys trade here with? What brokers do you guys mostly use here?
I
I'm on
use XM.
Xness.
Xness, man.
XM.
XNM. I like XM. XM as well. It's
Yeah,
good.
XM.
It's good.
Yeah,
Like, it's really good.
yeah.
So if you like a broker like that and you're confident, or basically let's say you're loyal to it, you stick with that because now that broker, it allows you to improve your psychology because you tell yourself that yeah, I like trading gold. And with gold, XM, gold, yo. You understand? Yeah,
Yo.
yeah, exactly. You
Yeah.
understand? That it makes you like trading more because
Repeat.
now
Yo.
so now imagine you keeping up your consistency with finding one thing in every trade, and then you're confident now. You can go far. You can go far. That's 0.01 on gold on XM on whatever. You can go far. You understand?
Yeah.
So full margin is
Yeah.
only possible with consistency. You see, every time if you let's say you use this model right here, just right here. You don't even have to hold this entire. Hey, I'm still holding these trades. You don't. Wait, let me just check real quick. Who's still holding did any of you guys enter this trade with me? And I sent it in the group.
No,
So,
I didn't enter.
do you guys remember that this right here? Where was it? Was it 15 minutes? On the sorry to I'll go back to the full margin chat. I just wanted to say something to you guys. Reason why this thing is not gonna sell. Can somebody tell me why? As of yet, can somebody tell me why? Take your time. I remember I put like